Without Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, and Al Horford, the Golden State Warriors got back to 500 in Game 2 of a 3-game Eastern Conference road trip. For the second straight game, Pat Spencer scored 12-plus points in the fourth quarter. As a man with one of the best basketball stories you'll hear about, which we'll get to, is dominating basketball right now, despite it being his second sport. Steve Kerr's finally seen the vision, which is also coming up, but before getting back to Spencer, we have to talk about the Warriors as a whole finally finding their identity. While the Warriors had lost 3 of their last 4 coming into this game against the Cavs, they've now held an opponent to under 100 points in 3 of their last 4 games. This has allowed the Warriors to propel up in some advanced stats and become the NBA's 6th best team in terms of defensive rating on the season. Pat Spencer had a wild journey to the association, which included playing lacrosse at Loyola, becoming the all-time NCAA leader in assists, winning the lacrosse equivalent to the Heisman Trophy, but then suddenly following his love for basketball, transferring to Northwestern, spending 3 years in Germany and the G League, before finally realizing his dream with the Warriors. He's finally earned a spot in the Warriors rotation after years of being in the G. Still though, on a 2-way contract, it's crucial the Warriors sign him to a full-time deal, given his current contract implies he's got a limited amount of NBA games to participate in before being ineligible. Over his last 3 games, Pat Spencer's averaging 17.3 points, 5.7 assists, and 3.7 rebounds per game on a monstrous 58.8, 75, 100 shooting split. In his first career NBA start, Spencer dropped 19 points and 7 assists against the Cavaliers, both of which were team highs. This performance included Pat hitting the game-winning free throws and then waving goodbye to the Cavaliers faithful, as Spencer said "Thank you, Cleveland," the best way he knew how. After visibly mouthing the words "I'm that motherfucker" in a game in Philly where he was going off down the stretch, Steve Kerr had this to say. Just keep watching the clip.
He's really improved his jump shot. I mean, that's the big thing. He's last year he would turn down a lot of threes, drive in, shoot a lot of floaters, and he's never going to be Steph, but he's a threat out there, and that's what it takes. You have to be a threat from the line to be able to pull the defense out, and I just think the shot quality now that we're getting with him on the floor is way better than it was the last couple of years. And then I think the other thing is that his coach realized that Pat is that motherfucker. I think that became clear. Sorry.
Who's yelling that at you?
Am I allowed to say that, or am I going to get
No, it's okay. But
did you know it before, Phil?
You were pretty pumped too. What was that moment like for you?
There were a couple of them, right? I think he had a
2
couple of
before.
them. Yeah, I mean, it's just fun watching a guy who has had to fight for everything to finally get his moment and not only seize it, but grab it by the neck. I mean, this guy is a competitor. He loves the competition. He loves to play. His teammates love playing with him. So it's beautiful to watch when you see something like that happen.
Because he's a shooter, and shooters shoot. You know that very well.
Meanwhile, here was what Spencer had to say post-game following his career showing.
Be cornhole, ping pong, you name it, I'm competing still. The energy was great in here all night. They're on a back-to-back, so they were a little bit tired, I think. Initially, a little bit of a slow start, but then you could feel the competition picking up, so I lived through that.
How would you describe the confidence you're playing with right now?
Always been confident, man. I just haven't had the chance to really settle in and get an opportunity to play extended minutes. And I've talked about it before. Last year, my role was completely different. So, the goal for me was to come in and bring energy. This year, they've allowed me to kind of orchestrate a little bit, have the ball in my hands, get other guys involved, make plays. And so, when the coaching staff gives you that level of confidence, it's pretty easy to go out there.
Steve said one of the differences he feels like with your game is your shot has come along. I mean, how would you describe the development of your shot over the last?
It's been years. I think you hear a lot of guys talk about it throughout the league. It's not an overnight process. Couldn't shoot the ball at all in college, and first couple of years out, had some coaches I worked with, and just put the hours in. Man, I'm a believer that give me a couple of years to figure something out. I'm going to figure it out. and just have a lot of guys that push me to be my best version of myself every day in this organization. So thankful for, can't name all the player development coaches, but all those guys that have put in the work with me.
When did it, has there been a season that you feel like it has taken a significant leap?
Yeah, this summer. But anybody that plays this game will tell you that you have the ball in your hands a little bit more, just a level of comfort. Last year I'm checking in, like I said, we're down 20. It's really come in and bounce off the walls and give us energy. So not necessarily in a shooter's mindset. This year, like I said, just a little bit more opportunity and, feel pretty poised out there.
By listening to this interview, you'll find out Guy Santos agreed with Steve Kerr.
And feels great. Feels great. That game, we feel it hurt us because we had the game in our hands, and let's play, tough loss. And NBA is about it. There's one day that you down, you lost a game in the last shot, and there's games that we win like that. So that's the grace to be here,
To your point, we heard everybody going nuts in there celebrating. What has the last 48 hours been like emotionally for everybody?
Like you said, after the game tonight, we were happy. Everybody win feels great every time. It doesn't matter how you get the win. But like I said, there is the last 48 hours, that was a couple of up and downs because we lost a tough game in Philly, and everybody's just like, damn, we should win that game. That game was important for us. And the other night, you got to be ready and play it again. And I'm glad that we did it tonight. Huge compliment for Pat. That guy, I don't know if I can say that, Raymond, but I'm gonna say it. Pat is that motherfucker. He's great. He's great to have a guy like that in the team, man.
What's the biggest difference between last year and this year you've seen from Pat? Just his growth.
Man, I always see Pat is the guy that is very competitive. He always competing. Doesn't matter what he does, he always competing, bro. And you can see it out on the court. After every bucket, he always says something. He look at the bench, he look at the fans. He's bumping the chest and everything like that, because he really loves this competition. So yeah, that's what I see. Now he's showing up that in the courts because we've been working out, doing some pre-game playing and all that, and I see that already. But I'm glad that everybody in the world is seeing this side of Pat too.
Is he annoying to practice against?
Him?
Yeah.
No, he's actually funny, man. He's a funny guy. He's not gonna talk shit to you, but he gonna say some crazy stuff for himself, So that's what keep him going. That's why he does to make himself feel good in the game. So it's funny. It's actually funny to go work out with him.
Santos trailed 3. Shot clock at 7, and there's post moving. Pat Spencer catch and shoot 3. Got it. Trace this time, gonna lay it up and we wind down towards 8 minutes. Pat Spencer, a shot up on the step around on Hunter, back out to Spencer, dropped in the 3. JD out to Moody. Pat Spencer open 3 again. Cash! Bounce off of him. Garland with 16, Mitchell with 21. Post Pat Spencer, Pat cutting without the ball. Tic-tac-toe to GP2. Pat Spencer in the lane. Pat Spencer to float it up and out.